All right, guys, we are in. We are in. We are in, and it is the finals of this Sunday Semi-Pro Cup Series. Again, I am joined with Nizcast to give you guys some insight, some thoughts into this game. But this game is going to be exciting as, of course, Two Fish took down the fan favorites in a lot of way for this stream, Hot Hands. But a lot of good players on the side of Two Fish. And this opponent, definitely a little stronger than Hot Hands. Nothing to take away from Hot Hands. Very strong team and great players. But Monkeys Forever, Jolly Joker. Jolly Joker, of course, used to play on Shadow Fiends in the past. I think Monkeys Forever was also on that team. I can't entirely remember. Their lineup changed quite a bit leading up to TI4. But yeah, so these teams, players have quite a bit of experience. That's what I'm trying to say.
Not just them. Of course, Rolo, quite a known player as well, and Jab played pro in Holland, and he's been playing quite a bit of Dota 2 as well. And I actually don't know who Pizza Dad 37 is, so I'm gonna actually look and see if they've got an alias. But,
well, he is a Pizza Dad 37, so look to see clutch plays from him. So your dad bringing home pizza is clutch. So I expect clutch plays out of him. That's what that name says to me. That's what he's going for, obviously. And as Niz does his research and I stop trying to be funny and the stream goes up in quality, we will talk about what is happening in this draft. Of course, for Two Fish, we see the Razor and the Panda, a.k.a. Brewmaster, getting banned out. They will pick up the Viper and Faceless Void as the second and third pick. Over on the side of Boreal eSports, Lycan and DP were banned out, and for the first and fourth pick, they choose Shadow Shaman and Doom. We now see, interestingly enough, Ember Spirit getting banned out. Skywrath Mage, not so interesting, very common hero, especially with Faceless Void. But yeah, definitely more uncommon ban and pick these days is that Ember Spirit.
Yeah, so after a quick look, Pizza Dad 37 is indeed Pizza Dad 37. So a player I actually don't know about, but I mean, he's on a team of very capable players, so it's unlikely that they picked up some random noob to fill up their team. So maybe a new star in the rising, but or maybe just someone I don't know. Who knows? I don't know everyone in the scene, but yeah, look for some big plays from there. But yeah, nothing too new and exciting from these first four picks, as we do see Ember Spirit banned really early by Two Fish. One Fish, Two Fish, or Two Fish, Two Furious, as their team name is in the lobby. But I wonder why they choose to ban the Ember Spirit so early, especially when they have Viper on their team.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that thought process. The Batrider ban, I really like that, considering Bat pull into Doom is a very strong combination. I mean but that's the nice thing about Dota. But okay. One of my favorite heroes, and okay, another pick immediately fired back. Mirana will be picked up by Rolo here. Mirana definitely synergizes very well with Shadow Shaman. And yeah, one thing I was going to say really quickly is, that's the nice thing about, and I love about Dota, and what made me switch from StarCraft to Dota, is there are so many different combinations within the game that are incredibly powerful in their own right. And we see a lot of those already coming out. Of course, Jakiro and Faceless Void are insane together before the time of BKBs. Shadow Shaman and Mirana, of course, incredibly powerful. And Doom, they can set up a fight. However, I guess they could, blink Doom and then they have the Shadow Shaman to help CC. But Abaddon, we've seen him once before against the Doom, and it went pretty well. Half of the reason, I think, is because Abaddon basically makes your Doom player have to do Doom Abaddon. Because if you don't, they're just going to shield him once, heal him. Maybe he stays in the fight if he's like a Faceless Void and fights. Or maybe he just runs away with that shield and that heal, and the Doom's not going to kill him, and you're going to effectively waste Doom. They reinitiate, the fight goes south.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a wasted Doom. I think, like you said, the Abaddon either forces Doom to Doom Abaddon, or he forces the Doom on another hero. But Abaddon just counters the damage that Doom is going to deal. The main reason you pick Doom isn't because of the damage. If you wanted to pick that, you'd probably get another hero. You do it because of the global silence, not the global, the whatever it's called, the silence that locks out, the mute that locks out all hero abilities and item use. So The Abaddon definitely can't counter that, but it can counter the damage. I think the Abaddon's actually going to work really well at supporting the Viper pick and allowing Viper to become this kind of mobile turret that's just going to position himself in the middle of the fight and just kind of slowing everything and dealing a ton of damage. And it can also support the Faceless Void on the back of the Chrono ending, especially if Faceless Void goes to pick up a Mask of Madness. He's going to be a little bit vulnerable as the Chrono comes down if he chooses to hold on to his Mask of Madness until he's chronoed rather than popping it preemptively. But we see a Juggernaut pickup, which is another new and interesting pick for tonight at least. We've seen it picked a few times in the past, but it was all by I forget the
Red
team.
Bulls.
Was it Red Bulls? Yeah, it was Red Bulls.
11.
That picked it 2 times.
Well, we did see the majority for the number of games they played to the times they picked Juggernaut was relatively high ratio. But that aside, Juggernaut is one of my favorite heroes in the game in the respect that once he snowballs, yeah, Ghost Scepter counters him, I guess, but like Juggernaut is terrifying, and especially with the new buff to his base attack type. We've seen a shift in the meta, if you like to call it that, or the trends in Juggernaut build to go for a MJ, and I definitely prefer building that. And it gives your, because of the base attack type, you get more out of attack speed, plus you attack, plus every attack and slash from Omni Slash has a, at least I think, has a chance to proc the Maelstrom. Every attack during the Omni Slash does for sure. And that's just extra magic damage, bounces between, and then you can MJ one of your teammates like a Doom, and he becomes a lot harder to focus.
So just to actually explain that a little bit more, every time you jump with Omni Slash, there you can potentially get an auto attack in, and if you get your base attack time low enough through attack speed, every jump you can actually get an auto attack in. And of course, because you're auto attacking, you have the chance to proc the Mjolnir or any kind of orb effect, I guess, that you have. So getting that attack speed down allows Juggernaut to actually get a lot more scaling out of his ultimate, and it allows it to deal a lot more damage. And of course, as you finish your ultimate, then you've still got spin to kind of keep yourself alive, or you can just put the Mjolnir on yourself and start right-clicking away.
Yeah.
But he most likely will be putting the Mjolnir on Doom prior to the team fight.
We also see Mask of Madness a lot too. Also for the same reason, right? Because you can Mask of Madness into Omni Slash, and with Mask of Madness, which is 120 attack speed during its active, plus a MJ, which is like 88 attack speed if I'm not mistaken, you get 200 attack speed. You can possibly, I think there's a ratio where you can get 2 attacks per slash.
Yep.
But that definitely requires a Mask of Madness, if not a double Hyperstone item, to be able to achieve that attack speed.
I think you have to build shreds as well to accomplish that. So most players like to actually go for the phase boots, as I think that's a much better choice.
It's just the early damage, because Juggernaut does more, and once everyone on the enemy team has a Ghost Scepter, right, like, at a certain point, his farm is just negated by 1,600 gold, and you have to factor that into your thought process of playing the hero. It's been a long time.
One thing actually we didn't cover is that Juggernaut doesn't necessarily have to be a carry, or doesn't even have to necessarily be a core role. He can be played as support. We have seen that in the past.
TI4.
And it actually does work with Shadow Shaman.
That was the specific hero combo, actually. And whoa! Holy hell, guys. I am super excited for this game. This is one of the most unique and interesting heroes in the game. He's literally AIDS, if you want to think about him that way. A lot of people will call Venomancer or Viper and Venomancer AIDS, but no, Necrophos is truly AIDS. His heal is a heal and damage. Also, take to thought that so is Abaddon's. But you have the passive that constantly eats away at you. I believe that damage goes through BKB. I haven't played the hero enough to know that for sure. Sadist got reworked to make it incredibly powerful in the laning stage, and he's going to be mid lane against Monkeys Forever on the Storm Spirit. Viz, my friend, how hyped are you for this game?
Well, we're definitely seeing Necro, a hero who we haven't seen in a long, long time. And Storm. I don't think we've seen much of Storm at all recently. If we've even seen him at all in our casts, maybe one game. But it's a hero I love to see, because it's a hero I can't play very well, but it's also a hero that players can have a real standout performance and have a huge game impact with that hero.
Well, that being
Move
said,
Dota Raptors.
Dota Raptors quit or riot. Anyways, guys, we will get ahead and get into this game. During this pause, we'll take the opportunity to do those good old introductions. I'll take care of the Radiant side, as we have Boreal eSports picking up the Radiant flag. We have over on the Mirana, looks like to be a support Rolo, the captain. We have Jolly Joker picking up the Juggernaut, I believe to be a core. Hold on. Yeah, definitely a core with the Shadow Shop. And the Rolo being a support with 2 wards. So yeah, Jolly Joker on the carry Juggernaut. We have Pizza Dev on the off lane, potentially starting jungle Doom. Monkeys Forever picking up that middle Storm Spirit. No surprise to see him middle lane. Of course, Ja, our Han Trash, picking up the Shadow Shaman. Okay.
Because I am Han Trash. Well, I was Dota Trash before, but I am Han Trash, so I must say Han Trash best trash. But introducing the dire side, we have 1 fish, 2 fish, aka 2 fish, 2 furious, which I love that name, by the way.
Yeah, me
But
too.
we've got Mate playing the Jakira. He, of course, played the Kunkka last game. We have Heisenberg on the most likely off-lane Faceless Void. We've got 470 playing the Viper. We got 747 on what's most likely going to be the mid Necrophos. And we got Loki playing the Abaddon.
And I am super excited for this game. As, of course, 2 fish have a very interesting draft. I would say Boreal eSports. Like this is not usually a question I like to ask or like to think about, but I know this is definitely an interesting way to think about this. Whichever side is closer to the meta, quote unquote, I would definitely put that to Boreal eSports, because Necrophos and Abaddon are so far off right now of what's a common strain of strategies to go for in the Dota 2 meta. But we definitely are seeing them, and honestly, Necrophos, with the way his Ags works now, he can completely change the way the game works. Because, sure, you saving for buyback, but you know, all of a sudden something goes wrong. Your Storm Spirit gets, you know, ultied. He can't revive, and then they go high ground. Right? What do you do about it? Well, you can't buy back. Not anymore.
Well, this game is actually already off to an interesting start. I actually think both tri-lanes think they have the stronger tri-lane, and they're both going aggro. And of course, they're effectively going to be dodging each other. But because of this ward positioned in the middle lane, 1 fish, 2 fish definitely knows what's going on. And they are rotating middle with their supports to kind of support the mid Necrophos in this potential gank, and hopefully looking to turn it around.
Well, 2 things to quickly note. The Boreal eSports does not know that 2 fish knows. And they also do not know about the support rotation. So Arrow is going to fly out. I think 747 is slightly tanking this on purpose, as we are going to see the come up, or the run up from Loki, and then the stun removal from the Photic Shield. The right clicks are there. The question is, will they have enough to follow up and get this kill? The answer is no. But the HP trade goes way in favor of Necrophos in this situation. Didn't have to use either of his tangos and didn't die. So definitely good for 2 fish.
One thing to note, and you probably won't see it being counter-warded, but that movement, that response from 1 fish, 2 fish as supports will most likely lead Boreal eSports to know that this ward is here, scouting them out. They probably won't invest to counter-ward it with a sentry ward. Instead, they will just avoid it or use a smoke to pass through it. But
looks like they're going to die. Yeah, they're definitely diving Heisenberg. They're trying to flush him out, but
good movement.
Yeah, Jaw is not in position to jump on their movement, but the tower never focused them. They didn't really lose much HP. That was just kind of a posturing battle. And now Jaw does have the potential to eat through this tree. I did show the stream that, of course, without that tree eaten, they have no awareness of that positioning from Jaw. And, of course, because their wards were dedicated to the left-hand side of the map, or the right-hand side of the map, they don't have any up here to protect this tri-lane. Arrow will fly out, is going to hit on Loki, and now they could follow that up with the shackles. They do. The right clicks are there. The spin is going to be there as well. And there is not a tree for him to get away. He is just going to stand there and tank it, and Rolo will get the first blood. And it looks like Loki just kind of tanked that. I don't know why. Did he have any tangos? He did have 2, so he could have eaten through maybe and gotten away, but he does die there. And Monkeys Forever is going to pick up a haste rune, which is definitely something worth noting. A Storm Spirit can run away and do a lot with a haste ring. Do see a dual lane bottom as well now as they're going to a 2-1-2 setup. Loki having the courier follow him. Or no, 7-4-7 sitting up boots.
This is unreal. Jaws created a little bit of an underground railroad here through the trees.
Oh, and they are going to get the shackles again onto Heisenberg. The arrow does hit the range creep, however, and Loki was there to TP, so there's no chance that Heisenberg dies there.
That was actually a huge play by that range creep.
And there's the haste activated by Monkeys. He's going to actually chase after the courier. I think this might be a questionable decision. He does get the first right click, but now he's going to have to get the second right click. And honestly, with the tower right clicks and the right clicks following, Necrophos gets the kill. And to be entirely fair with you, because there was 0 net worth on that, Monkeys Forever might come to regret that play later on in this game because I don't know, he lost some. Maybe he did buy out beforehand, so he didn't lose much gold. But
contrary to popular belief, diving 3 towers 3 minutes into the game isn't just necessarily the best play. But he did get the courier, so we'll have to look and see.
I resent people who kill the courier, but I'm one of those people. I am one of those. I love sport rotations to kill a courier before 3 minutes when they're bottle running. Oh, it's so rewarding. That moment when you're that guy. Anyways, Heisenberg. Top lane, a little bit suspect here, has a jaw with that rotation. Actually goes for the shackles onto the Abaddon, and that means that Abaddon actually cancels it. Now Abaddon going to be able to cast the shield, so really no risk of a gank here. Haven't really looked at bottom lane too much, but what we see coming out of bottom lane is Doom getting a little bit shut down, 10 last hits, most of those coming from the Devour. Most likely 470 getting a ton of last hits, Jakiro getting some himself actually. But again, with that 2 points in Liquid Fire and the poison damage coming from the Viper, a lot of potential damage output. And of course, they will control that regen rune, which is very important. Rolo has to deny it. Although 747 doesn't really care. Necrophos' mechanic with Sadist makes it so he never really needs that. And actually, piece of that is getting dived in the bottom lane as we see both the Jakiro and 470 diving that. Rolo will throw out the arrow. Now 470 gets stunned up. Will fall here as the scoreboard does go 2-1 in favor of Boreal eSports. And actually, Heisenberg gets the stun onto Jolly Joker. Maybe this will be a kill on Heisenberg as they do get the spin. They do still have access to that shield, and they will use it. Now Jolly Joker, a little bit out of position, but now Creep Wave not going to do anything, and faces Void. Not going to be able to heal up nearly as quickly as Jolly Joker with that, what do you call it? Healing Ward? Literally just called the Healing Ward, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Good job, Valve. Good job, Raptors. Good job, everyone, as we do see the arrow fly in middle and miss as it zings between the creep wave, but 747 on the high ground. Nowhere near that particular location.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see what was on the courier here.
Nothing.
No, okay. Necro didn't buy a bottle this
time.
No,
okay. That's what I said. I said it wasn't worth it because it had a 0 net worth.
Oh, okay. I thought it was actually coming in and delivering something. And then
no, he chased. He popped the haste because he saw it deliver the boots to 747,
okay.
And he hasn't bought anything else, which means he's most likely going to go for a Midas. Usually, that's the preferred item when we see this kind of farm on amateur players in the North American scene. There is a love for Midas.
He should be. If he's going Midas, he would be buying it now, or wouldn't be spending any reliable gold.
Well, to be fair, you might wait. He might just be lazy and wait till he has enough to right-click both or double-click both and a shift buy. Actually, this I don't think we can check shift buy without player perspective. So
yeah,
maybe or quick buy. Sorry, but anyways, yeah, we'll see what he decides to do with this money. Monkeys Forever is level 6, so he can't jump on middle lane. He does only have 2 points in pull, 2 points in overload. Might be going for the Dendy build, which is that 1-3-3 build. Heisenberg just taking a ton of damage from Juggernaut. Jolly Joker was just beating on him.
Bottom.
While bottom, actually, we're going to see an engagement on 470 as the Doom goes out. The arrow is off the mark. Actually, no, it's on the mark as it hits Mate. His Mate should fall here. Right clicks might be enough to take him down, but that Liquid Fire doing a lot. Not going to be enough as he does fall in the end. Meanwhile, in the top lane, a little bit of posturing towards Heisenberg. Yeah, sorry about that. Heisenberg was just letting him get, or taking like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 right clicks total to the face while he was trying to get a last hit there.
Yeah, Rolo was just kind of sitting in the trees waiting, and I think Pizza Dad just got a little impatient.
And actually in middle lane, we're going to see the ultimate come out of Necrophos, and that's a free kill. 747 is kind of getting the better end of Monkeys Forever, as of course, yeah, there is that Midas. So I was right. I am the Nostradamus of this game, Niz. I'm sorry, but he was just lazy and didn't want to buy it until he had exactly 2,000 gold, but gets that kill as well.
I actually was going to completely predict the Necro pick, but you were just talking, so I couldn't get it in.
Oh,
But yeah, and I'm pretty good at predicting these.
you are. If you go back to all of the VODs, guys, Miz predicts 9 out of 9 picks.
Uh,
Don't ask why it's not out of 9, and don't ask why he predicts every pick. But things just happen, guys. That's how the
Top.
universe works. Jolly Joker might be in trouble. He has Healing Ward
Nice.
and access to 3 points and spin, but there
Not fine.
is the Chronosphere. They did kill the Healing
fine.
Ward. The effect is still working, however, and he has that spin now. Might decide to turn this as they do have the shackles onto Jaw, or from Jaw, but they do get the Ice Path onto him. Might be able to return this kill, but no bash coming from Faces Void as he is a 2-1-2 build. Only a 15% chance to get a time lock for 50 damage.
I think Jaw just likes hearing the Ayataya Andaka or whatever
And then canceling it.
the Shadow Shaman says, because he's had 2 shackles that
Middle lane,
were
maybe
not
monkeys.
necessary this game, but
Seconds.
he does manage to live there. I thought he was dead for sure.
Top tower going to take a ton of damage though because of this. An interesting decision by the Jakiro. I prefer 3 points in Liquid Fire.
Forever.
9 times out of 10. But yeah, Monkeys Forever with that haste rune. Like I said, when you have a haste on Storm Sphere to lock him down, however, that Ice Path might stall him up just enough time. And the Abaddon is here, which means that this is probably an impossible kill for Monkeys Forever. They have the shield as well as the heal. Heisenberg dropping low. Will continue to take right clicks, but because of that Liquid Fire, his attack speed is slowed down quite a bit. Might be able to kill the Jakiro, but now the stun arrow onto Abaddon. But nothing's going to happen in the meanwhile in the bottom lane as 3 heroes are getting chased out by Storm in the top lane. 470 going to get focused down. However, he should live here. Mate does TP for the potential deny, but I don't think it's going to matter. Heisenberg is the only one under this tower right now with this healing ward. They're going to attempt the dive. 3 heroes are in the position, but honestly, he might be able to leap away here. There is the Static Revenant, however, a great dodge from him. Does eat through the tree. They do have access to a pole. They don't use it yet. They are going for the right click, and they will. Oh no, with that heal does live, but no. Jolly Joker with that Omni Slash, able to clean up the kill, and of course using that Static Remnant trick where your attack's already out in the air is Monkeys Forever able to clean up that Faceless Void. So now 5-2 in favor of Boreal eSports as they are looking pretty dominating in this game. Although the Golden Experience graph do say it is an even game, and I'd be willing to say that that's the state of the game.
With that little engagement right before that top, Jolly Joker actually stopped chasing to turn and kill a creep in the creep wave because he was so close to 6. He killed it and he got a little closer. He's like, oh my goodness. Turns back around, kills another one. He got a little bit closer. Turns out he had to wipe out the whole creep wave before he actually hit 6. But it was so close. I thought for sure he only needed 1, maybe 2 creeps. But it turns out he needed all 4. And at least me and him were on the same page. Unfortunately, it wasn't the page that he wanted to be on when he made that choice. But,
I don't know. Fortunately, he didn't do anything until he had level 6, and Abaddon coming back to save his teammate allowed him to get that free Omni Slash. Of course, Abaddon nowhere near level 6 right now. To be fair, the experience graph, I think, is a really dictating situation, or the situation right now is Abaddon's only level 3, and 10 minutes into the game, Abaddon's a great hero, but look at his farm. Yeah, they are definitely grouping bottom, but yeah, look at his farm. It is very, very bad right now, and experience, and just his overall position in the game. And no matter what support hero you play, you don't want to be in this position 11 minutes into the game.
Luckily, he will be able to get the boots on the back of that tower, but he was on pace for about 21-minute boots. Which
if he died again, yeah.
Where you want to be.
21-minute level 6. Never getting level 6 before a GG. It's happened to me before. It's happened to most support players. Just a situation when the games go sour really quickly. But 747 is a shining star right now as the Chronosphere does go out onto Monkeys Forever. The Great Arrow Dodge misses everyone. They do get the Viper Strike as well as the Bash, and now the Necrophos Ultimate will continue or clean up that kill as 747 gets 11 Sadist Charge, 10 from that kill. And that's what I'm talking about with this Necrophos. He's just going to start to rip stuff apart. And it looks like he's going to go for that Bloodstone. Bloodstone, my friend. Bloodstone and Necrophos is really terrifying because he can just spam heal, and you have to do a lot to focus him down. He's a decently Adjugane hero. Will get about 6 or 7 armor by level, about 7 armor by level 16. But after that Bloodstone, you generally speaking see a Shiva's Guard, and then or Aghanims. But then I honestly think the Shiva's Guard because of Bloodstone. Yeah, that was that kind of distance, but. Yeah, I think you go Shivas if you go the Bloodstone, right? You don't go Aghanims. As much as it's really useful to not have the buyback, you need the armor to make the Bloodstone ultimate, like, or the Bloodstone as effective as possible, because then you can just stand in the fight with the bonus armor, the bonus HP, and the spam heal.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think you do stop and get treads in between the two, but I think the Shivas is probably going to be the better choice. He may choose to go to eggs. It's not that bad of a choice, but that's still quite a bit away.
He
Still
needs
has
his
about
perseverance, but it is only 12
1600
minutes
or
in.
1700, whatever.
We
gold.
say that it's 12 minutes and 39 seconds into this game, and that's a really fast, to say the least, without using vulgar language. Quick Bloodstone.
Well, Necro's at 500 and basically 520 gold per minute. The closest to him is Doom at about 420, and so he's 100 gold per minute ahead of anyone else in this game, and Doom's only in second, but below him is actually Jug, which is another 70 gold per minute below. So that just goes to show you how far ahead Necro is in this game, and he's maintaining
top
that.
lane, Rolo is in big trouble as he gets Chronosphere, plus that miscoil. Of course, the stun coming out of that bash, or from the time lock in the Chronosphere, dealing double damage. Going to clean him up, 747. While we're speaking about how well he's been playing, he does get doomed up, as well as gets Omni Slashed, getting a little greedy on the other side of the map. Will get cleaned up. Bad news is for him, he's going to be a little bit farther away from that perseverance. Good news for him is his team is able to clean up a tower on the back of 3 heroes being needed to clean him up. Yeah, that's already with the soul booster. Necrophos is just one of those heroes where, honestly, if they didn't have the Shadow Shaman or the Juggernaut or the Doom, he would have lived. Because he either would have been able to heal himself, he would have been able to run away during the Omni Slash, or they wouldn't have had the damage during the Doom to kill him.
Yeah, just the fact that they have to devote that much to killing a hero this early in the game is quite big.
Bottom tower will fall,
drop the
747.
wards.
Yeah, he's coming to defend. It looks like he tries to go for the deny. Won't get it. But it looks like he wants to clean up these wards, and honestly, he kind of can, as he's really tanky again. He could just kind of chip away at these. I believe he gets Status Charge for them, and he does, yeah, so he's going to get an insane amount of HP from this. There's no way these wards could ever focus him down. He's going to heal up 470. His number duo. As bottom or middle tower will fall as well. 2 unanswered towers in multiple ways to look at that for Boreal eSports, is they're going to go up in gold, and the experience graph is continuing to go in favor of 2 Fish. There was a decent surge up for Boreal during those few ganks, but the overall trend is in favor of 2 Fish getting more experience off the map, and Necrophos is going to get about a 16-minute Bloodstone, as he is 375 gold, or 325 gold from his Perseverance.
Absolutely. We also have Rasta is really close to his Blink Dagger, but I worry a little bit about their ability to
He's
lock.
going to get it now.
Well, actually, no, I don't. Never mind. What I'm saying is null and void. Don't listen to me.
I guess, honestly, they have some lockdown. And the reason I say some is Chronosphere is awesome, don't get me wrong. But Chronosphere can't be followed up in any AoE. You say, well, they have Jakiro, they have Ice Path, that's fine. But BKBs counter Jakiro hard. And I love Jakiro, and I'm not trying to hate on the hero, but the hero is truly weak in the BKB portion of the game. He is really strong from here until 25 minutes, but after the BKB phase, Necrophos' ult doesn't do damage, only locks down. The Chronosphere does lock down, but negates most of the magical damage coming out, and then they don't have anything to follow up after that if BKBs are up. So I kind of agree with you, Niz, in what you were trying to get at. I don't know if that was what you were thinking.
Yeah, basically.
I love Jakiro, though. I love the hero. Man, BKB makes him weak. Especially, there's kind of a timing in some respect to that combo in this game, and in most games where you combo Jakiro up with a Void, is once they get BKBs, if they BKB before Chronosphere, yeah, Macro Pyre hurts like a truck, but not if you're BKB. We do see that Bloodstone picked up by Necrophos a little bit after 16 minutes. But again, a very early time, very impactful timing, is actually in the mid-top lane. I'm going to miss the kill. We're going to catch the end of it as we do see Faceless Void falling to Rolo, probably lining up a great arrow, and then of course they had the follow-up Hex and Shackles from Rasta. They even devoted wards to guarantee the kill. But honestly, Faceless Void was the carry position in this game, so I think that's a worthwhile trade.
I actually didn't get to see it, but Ja did use a smoke, so I imagine he kind of smoked and then blinked in. allowing him to get in position over this ward that you're circling,
Oh,
that someone's circling. I believe it allowed him to then blake in and hold on to the Faceless Void, allowing the arrow to come through and stun him up and securing the kill.
yeah, that's definitely worth noting. They have great control of access to their jungle. This is the only like blind spot they have, but pretty much the rest of their jungle is completely warded up as far as rotations into it.
Jaw's doing a good job of always having a smoke, so the second the chance to smoke up and do some kind of rotation like that is possible, he's going to have it on hand. He doesn't have to fly it in or anything like that. And it also it has to keep the other team really alert and very aware that a potential smoke anytime someone goes invis or off the map. Sorry.
Oh, in middle lane, we're going to see Chronosphere onto Jolly Joker. As he's going to get focused up, we'll probably see the Necrophos ult, and there's no way he's getting out of that. And with that kill, 747 does get arrowed, but of course Abaddon is there. Photic Shield will purge that. And while that was happening, Roshan was getting started, and I imagine it will get finished here. As they could try to defend this Roshan, but honestly, with Jolly Joker down, they'd be fighting into a disadvantaged position. They will pick up a regen onto Storm Spirit over here on Monkeys Forever, as he does have that.
He might jump with that.
Yeah, that arrow flying out. But again, they have the Abaddon. I think that's worth noting. Arrow is great, but when you have an Abaddon, and look at that heal, that arrow hasn't done anything. Mech, they're all healed up. He looks like he's going to jump over to the side. He will jump. It looks like he's just trying to give them vision and posture around to possibly make them make a misplay. We do have the Doom going out onto 747 and the leap forward. It looks like they're going to surrender Roche from now. The arrow comes out and actually hits onto Might, which I believe is the Jakiro, yes, but he does get shielded up immediately, and now Doom will fall again. A trade that they can't really capitalize on, and now Monkeys Forever up on the high ground. They are aware of that. It looks like he wants to go for the Aegis steal, but I think that would be a relatively big decision, and yeah, that Ice Path, the decision by Mate. Oh, and he gets the Aegis steal. Yeah, anyways, the question is, can they follow this up here? He does get to the, he does get out and negates it. Monkeys Forever, clutch. But I like the thought coming out from Might. If that would have been a second later, been not a little jumpy on the trigger finger, they would have killed him there before he was able to steal the Aegis and or just take the Aegis. But maybe they weren't right-clicking it enough. Oh.
When he jumped in, that looked like the biggest speed in the world.
Heisenberg's inventory was, he needed, in the future situation, I think this is worth noting. I mean, even in pub games, guys, is if you think...
It could have been 747 trying to pick it up.
Right, but that my point is exactly about this. If you have one person designated to get the Aegis, but there's something like a Storm Spirit that could potentially steal it, and your ability to limit that stealing is low, like you don't have Chronosphere, whatever, you want to just have two heroes like the Faceless Void, just drop an item and spam it anyways. Because even if the Faceless Void gets it, that kill is an actual kill on Storm Spirit. Faceless Void has an Aegis. It's still a decent hero to have an Aegis on, and that situation looks a lot different.
Absolutely. I think they thought for sure that they were going to get the Aegis, no problem. They had the Ice Path to cover any kind of Storm jump-in shenanigans. Unfortunately, the timing was just slightly off, but and Storm was able to pick it up. But I do want to mention that during all that, as Doom was getting picked off at the Ancients, Storm managed to pick off the Career as it flew in. And then while Storm was jumping in with the Roshan against, Jaw was able to maneuver around and take out the tier 2 tower mid.
Well,
of course, dropping the roster wards to do so.
The rat evades the casters. As I was too fixed on what Monkeys Forever was doing. However, Monkeys Forever should die here as he does get Chronosphere. There is the Ice Path, and Heisenberg will clean up that kill. Of course, 4 points in time lock, making that a very easy kill to secure, regardless of that Shakiro's rotation. 747 looking to pick up a sheep here. Looks like he's just saying no to both of us. A sheep is definitely an intelligent decision. Nonetheless, I like the physical armor that comes out of Shiva, of course. Or I guess just armor, which negates physical redundant. Yeah, sheep does give some, but sheep, so strong. So strong. I mean, honestly, BKB and sheep are two items that in competitive play you should always pick up, and the reason is because they're stable. They give your team disables. They prevent you from being disabled in the case of BKB. And specifically in the case of Sheep, being able to manipulate how the fight breaks down is more important 9 times out of 10 than any other aspect of how the fight, or any other aspect of the fight.
Absolutely. Fun fact. Oh,
Oh, Blink stop on to 747 as they will get the ice path to stall this up. He is doomed, but honestly, his HP regen is pretty insane at
no
14.
chrono.
Now the Chronosphere is off cooldown for 30 seconds. He doesn't have the mana for it anyways. Jaw will drop the wards. Rolo does get Viper Strike, but dodges it. Now Meat is going to get focused up by that Omni Slash. However, that is the Omni Slash being used. Now we see the ultimate coming out of 747. It doesn't do too much as the Jolly Joker was relatively full HP. Pizza Guy will be the first casualty, or sorry, second casualty of this fight as we see Heisenberg leaping forward. He has access to Mask of Madness in 1 second and will be able to secure this kill, and Viper actually getting 2 kills as he was able to clean up Jaw, as I believe the Ether Shock cleaning him up with a corrosive skin. But yeah, 2 fish off the back of a Necrophos and a Viper.
Yeah,
doing
that was
work.
just them once again dominating a team fight. What I was actually going to say prior to that team fight when I said fun fact, but a long time ago in Dota, when it was still in its infancy in Dota 1, in competitive play, you actually used to be limited to only have 2 max of Sheep or Yule Scepter. And of course, Yule Scepter actually used to build into Sheep back then. But yeah, you could only have 2 of them on a team because it was viewed as that strong of an item back then. And I think the mech was also limited to 2 because, of course, you could double mech on a team.
But that was fixed in Dota 2 mechanics.
But yeah, that's been that was actually fixed in Dota 1, I believe, as well.
Oh, okay. Well, fair
But,
enough.
but yeah, it's been
changed.
it was definitely limited by tournament play for quite some time.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of removing the limit, though, and you know, because it's kind of like the whole trinket thing in WoW, how everyone has a trinket to remove debuffs, except in this game everyone can build a sheep, and the sheep is not diminishing returns on a single target, so you can chain sheep, and there gets to a point in the game where that can be super useful. But while we're speaking, Monkeys Forever is going to get Chronosphere up in the top lane, and that's going to be another death for him, 1 and 5 on a Storm Spirit, and we've been talking about kind of nostalgic style things or side idea things of, I guess the sheep is getting picked up, so it is important to the game. But Monkeys Forever is 1 and 5, and as a Storm Spirit, is 1 and 5 is very bad. Or I mean, I don't want to say bad, like he's a bad player. Never mind. Jaw going to get picked off. We're going to be able to pick off Heisenberg as they does get the ward trap and the arrow set up. Easy kill for them. But again, I don't want it to sound like he's a bad player, but a Storm Spirit being 1 and 5 is a horrible situation for a Storm Spirit player, or any tempo-based hero like Storm Spirit.
Yeah, unfortunately, against a Void who's actually doing pretty well this game, it's kind of difficult for him to do the regular Storm shenanigans. I do want to point out that Necro did pick up the Shivas, and
Okay.
generally what you'd want to do is actually get the plate mail first, rather than the 2700 int item that I'm forgetting the name of, Mystic Staff.
Rolo is going to try to force himself away, does pop the ultimate to try to escape from this. However, they do have a Sentry, and with that Ice Path landing as well as the Miscoil, the dot damage going to be enough to clean that up. Scoreboard goes 12 to 9, and we know what we haven't checked in a second is, and I'll let you speak while that's happening, but the net worth is really in far Boreal eSports, but straight down for 2 fish since the last 4 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, the point I was actually trying to make is generally you want to action bottom. I can't speak.
Oh, okay, actually, we're going to see BKB. He might be able to escape here, but no, with that Chronosphere, Pizza Dad is guaranteed dead. We might see the ultimate come out of Necrophos. However, it doesn't deal damage. It will just help disable him, but that right click from Necrophos will guarantee the kill. And Miz, go ahead and get in what you can while you can, buddy.
Well, typically you'd want to pick up the plate mail because it's going to have a much more immediate effect. Obviously, the Mystic Staff is going to allow you to get to have more mana and allow you to hit a little bit harder. But typically, the plate mail is a more valuable item. This 747 played by the Necro played by 747. He was actually doing really well at that point in the game, and he still is doing really well. So I think he felt that he could just get the 2,700 gold now, and rather than spending the 1,400 and the game possibly changing, the state of the game possibly changing, and him not be able to reach that 2,700 gold. So he did choose to get the Mystic Staff, and that's actually why we thought he potentially was going Sheep. Because if you're going Sheep, generally you pick up the ultimate orb first at the 2,100, but sometimes you find yourself right at that 2,700 and you're just like, well, I might as well get this now because I feel okay and I don't need the survivability. But Yeah, he
You
does
see
pick up the
Job linked
Shivas,
over.
and
747. It might get hexed up here. He does get away, though. The
look at
Orchid
the
is
two
there. He does
pieces.
pop the Shivas, and that's going to slow them up. The arrow is flying out. It hits 470 in the background, which will kind of prevent most of Two Fish's pursuit. However, they could continue, as this could be a potential 5-on-5 clash. We have the entire team, or the entire game, up in the top lane right now, as all 10 heroes are here. Ultimate pop by Mirana. DD on Storm Spirit. If he's going to turn this game around, here would be the point. The Doom is on to 747, but he gets forced out forward by his teammate. There's the Ice Path cutting off too. They do throw out the Chronosphere, hitting on all 4 heroes of the Radiant side, and they're dealing quite a bit of damage, but they've already lost their Jakiro, but 747 is still standing. Now the Rasta falls, as well as Monkeys Forever. Still 4 heroes standing on the side of Two Fish, and they're just going to be able to sustain from this point on because of the Abaddon and the Necrophos, and they can continue a push off the back of this, because honestly, all they need is mana on the Necrophos. But yeah, what a Chronosphere coming out of Heisenberg.
So, Two Fish is so far ahead right now, or it feels like they're so far ahead because this Necro is just gigantic. And of course, once you pair the Abaddon with it, you've got the double heals. And on top of that, you've got Jakiro, who's just slowing your attacks, and even Viper's doing the same thing with his corrosive skin and his Viper Strike, just kind of slowing your attacks, stopping you from being able to really dish out a bunch of damage. It feels like no one on this Two Fish team can die. And
Bots
yeah,
put
they were able to defend with a good amount of TPs there to support their Necro. I believe it was a Necro.
Yeah, it was. And honestly, now with the bots on Necro, yeah, he can teleport around the map, but I think, again, a little less talked about. Bots gives you 100 movement speed, and on Necrophos, a hero who wants to chase, 100 movement speed more than, 50 or 60, depending on what other choice of boots you go for, can make a huge difference in your ability to catch up, get that Death Pulse AoE, and then, of course, get your ultimate on the hero you want to.
Yeah, it's just another one of those decisions. I was talking about potentially getting treads.
You're not going to have time, my friend. They are setting up
Arrow.
here. Rolo throws the arrow, as it is going to hit on Loki. It is a decently important target, but it is worth noting he has that borrowed time. But now, because of that arrow, Two Fish is going to be aware of the potential. Monkeys Forever is going to be in position. He does put down that Remnant, but he's decently low on mana. The Blink Doom onto Heisenberg, so they won't have access to Chronosphere. However, the Viper Strike goes out. Now the Omni Slash is coming. Not entirely sure what's on, but Loki is not, or sorry, 747 is not doomed, which means he's going to be able to heal up his team. And now the Rasta is down. They're in the background trying to clean up the other 2 heroes. They actually will get a kill on the Void, and the Jakiro, Jolly Joker, is now on the run as he will get ultied up by the Necrophos using that Reaper's Scythe, cleaning up that kill, a double kill for him. Arrow is going to fly out, hit on him. 19 Bloodstone charges, but there is the Abaddon to get the Photic Shield in the background. It looks like Monkeys Forever wants to, again, attempt to steal here, but he is relatively low mana, and they could just turn around and take this. It looks like 747, though, it looks like he wants to try to push out here and prevent them from being able to steal it and zone them away, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And then they're going to go back in and attempt to get this. But that fight...
Is Bolo going to go for this?
I don't know.
How does he know? How's he going to know the HP? There's no way.
Now they do, because of the ward. But 2,000. It's really hard to predict. However, Storm did pick up a rune. Not entirely sure what it was. It was an illusion. So actually, there's 2 illusions here. Right here, RaptorZ, Riot. RaptorZ is blind, Riot. And those illusions will go to the pit. So they'll be aware of when the rotation is. 747 will get Orchid up in the middle lane, but I don't think it's really going to matter, as there is the Abaddon in the area. Now it looks like the turn is going to be on a Monkeys Forever, as you cannot dodge that Death Pulse unless you're in ball form while it's happening. And now they're going to go straight into that Roche, but it looks like Mate just wants to clear up these illusions to prevent their knowledge of when they're going in. Monkeys Forever is relatively low HP, and if that ultimate got off by Storm Spirit or by Necrophos, and it doesn't even matter, they're going to get the Chronosphere and clean him up. Monkeys Forever goes down to a 2-7 in this game. Unfortunately, just getting shut down at every turn. He did pick up a BKB in the meantime, but at 31 minutes, Orchid BKB Storm. Again, it's one of those heroes that, and I don't mean to harp on him, and I don't mean to sound like I'm harping on him, but you need your Storm Spirit to do well, because your Storm Spirit needs to dictate the tempo, and if he isn't dictating the tempo, I mean, he's dead weight, right? Like, what else is he doing right now?
You picked him into a very difficult situation, though, with the Chrono.
Yeah.
We were kind of talking a little bit about them having limited lockdown. Obviously, you don't expect the Necro to get this far out of control, but the Chrono is actually just really, really good at locking down Storm. So it makes it a lot harder for Storm to really do his stuff. Um, but
Lead forward onto the Mirana. She does have access to lead, but it looks like they want to try to turn this around as the sheep goes out on to the or onto the the void. But again, Reaper's sight, Aghanims. He thinks he can buy back. Well, he can't, no matter what. But he can't. No, he can't. And honestly, we might see a refresher here soon. It's actually 7 for 7. It's going to TP to aid his teammate. Doom does go out onto him as they want to pursue this. BKB popped by Storm Spirit as he's bottle charging. They want to continue to chase this. Doom is at half duration. Abaddon's trying to keep him up as the missed calls are going, but no, Doom gets that great level death, doing a ton of damage to him. And of course, now Jolly Joker is going to continue the chase on to Mate as he gets cleaned up by Monkeys Forever. Now the Omni Slash is on to 470 as he's going to get cleaned up as well. 2 heroes on the sideline for TF, but now the Chronosphere coming out from Heisenberg, but there's a healing ward there, and this is kind of awkward. He's actually really awkward as he gets on top of the high ground, and they do a vision of him. Of course, he does that. The Aegis 747. Bop back. Didn't actually see this arrow does hit on Heisenberg. He didn't buy back. No, okay, that's his insane Bloodstone charge, and he's going to be able to be here to defend. Looks like Monkeys Forever is going to go up on the high ground, but again, they're aware that he has the Aegis. He could just pop the BKB and 747 looking like he wants to come here and help. And now he's just going to turn this on to Monkeys Forever. Monkeys Forever doesn't actually get to the low ground, and that's going to be his death. As Monkeys Forever goes down to 2-8 in this game. 3-8-2, sorry, in this game. And
what a silly
two fish.
Events that whole thing was.
I hate commentating things like that because like I feel awkward the entire time. And I'm sorry if it feels like that to you guys, everyone who's listening. But it's just very because it's like you can tell that the players, like by the way that they're playing, it's awkward to them, and I'm not trying to say like it's awkward like, oh, you know, like I'm talking to a girl and it's like, you know, weird or whatever. No, it's like awkward because like everyone's disconnected mentally as to how the game is going because nobody's reacting how anyone expects anyone to react, and so all of a sudden what you think would happen doesn't happen because, well, the exact reason I just cited. But yeah, very fun.
Awkward, yeah,
it's just awkward. Awkward turtle, but yeah, middle lane push.
I'll push mid here, as I think we are going to see a couple towers fall here. As now Necro goes to TP bottom, but actually cancels it. They're just going to keep pushing mid, and they're not going to respond to roster. They're going to force Jaw to TP back, as Jaw actually does drop the ward, so they won't have those to defend their base.
Yeah, and they have Doom for only one choice here, 747 or Heisenberg, and it is a tough decision here. We'll see which one he goes for as he set up off to the side. Arrow does fling through, hits a creep, however. So not going to be the kind of arrow that they would like to start this fight off with. They might decide to initiate anyways. Of course, they do have that Doom with the blink. Moonlight Shadow is active, but they have the sentry ward there. So they are aware of Rolo's position, and that Rax is going to get dropped low as they do blink and Doom onto the Heisenberg. So it looks like they're going to choose to stop the Chronosphere, but the sustain might be enough as we do see Omni Slash jumping through, dealing a ton of damage. Heisenberg dropping low. Does look like the Jakiro will fall. Looks like Jolly Joker is decently low himself as he does get Viper Strike up here, and now Pizza Dad on the side trying to clean up the Void will do so. However, 747 will get that kill, and now with 10 charges of that Sadist is damn near impossible to kill. They're going to continue to chase here as the Rax is decently low. They get the Viper Strike on to Jolly Joker as he might die here. No, he will get the spin off in the end, but they will lose the Rax, and that is probably the biggest thing to mention in this fight. 747 is going to try to kill Monkeys Forever as Monkey Forever wants to kill him, but Monkeys Forever just kind of stood there. Does buy back and immediately jump in as he will try to get the kill, but I honestly think that play was a little bit of frustration as 470 continue to chase this down. Rolo gonna die. Monkeys Forever, low mana, has to ball away, but does get Viper Strike with that. Necrophos Pulse chasing him, and now the Urn as well. He does try to ball at the last second, but with that, oh, never mind, he will survive. Oh, no, he won't, as the Nether Toxin kills him. And honestly, we might be looking at two fish getting the GG here as this Necro is out of control.
No one dies on this one fish, two fish team.
Except for the Jakiro and the Void, but who cares if they die, right?
Well, they used all their burst for that. They used the Doom on the Void to make sure he couldn't get the Chrono off. But once those two heroes fell, no one was going to die. You've got Abba. He's got one of 3 targets to shield and heal. You know, it's not that hard to make your decision when there's only 3 people left on your team. And then of course Necro is he's just constantly pressing that Q button, throwing his heal out, healing everyone, dealing damage to everyone, and he's got insane regen that there was no way he was going to go down. So, like, how does anyone die? What are you going to do? You're going to focus Viper, yeah, and have everything slowed, and even still, Viper's got mech. Like, no, there's no way anyone dies out of those three heroes. It's absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm. And they're actually going to smoke up Boreal eSports, that is. However, they were in vision of this dire ward. Vision does expend a little bit farther than I did draw. Three heroes grouping up are Jolly, Joker, as well as Ja and Rolla, as they look to catch up, potentially 470 here, but the blink from Ja is slightly off, getting onto the low ground. And unfortunately, Niz, I think this is kind of that situation where you start to see the frustrations, and maybe not just the frustrations, but the realization or the actualization that they are in a bad position in this game. What would you say or do right now if you're on the side of Boreal eSports? What is your speech? What is your strategy? What are your tactics to get your team back in this game and win this?
Well, typically when you've got a hero snowballing out of control, you want to kill him and put him down and then do something on the back of that. The problem is it's when it's Necro and he's got 19 charges on Bloodstone, you've got to kill him several times before it's going to have an impact. They are going to get a kill on Mate here,
yeah.
but I don't think that's going to change the course of this game. They're going to have to kill Mate probably 10, 15 times to really change this game, unfortunately.
Well,
they might get a kill on 470.
Yeah, they do get multiple right clicks before he does get that Omni-Slash off, and of course they are aware, and they're just going to heal him up and completely negate the use of that ulti. They do get the Viper Strike on him, but now the Chronosphere from Heisenberg is huge, as Monkeys Forever will fall. 747 was in it, but it doesn't matter because the Abaddon wasn't able to heal up the rest of his team outside of that Chronosphere. Rolo attempting the TP. I think he will be able to get out, but at what cost, we must ask ourselves, Niz, is 747 is huge. He's got a heart.
On the plus side, I don't think they're going to lose Rax. They might, but I think they may just lose their tier 3 tower and then be able to defend.
Question, though.
And Roche isn't up yet.
747 has 22 Bloodstone charges, a heart, a Shivas, an Axe. Bots. Why would you stop pushing right here, right now for Rax?
To be honest.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that
747's is way too big. And
Necro's one of those heroes.
On point with his Chronos all game long. So, I don't.
But yeah, Necro's one of those death ball heroes that you have to be, or I guess, yeah, death or critical mass heroes that you have to be really careful of, like Sven, where if you don't have the team to deal with him and he hits critical mass like this, you can't kill him, and that means you have to go for the team around him. But the problem is when you're going for a hero who spam heals his team around him, you can't, like, rock and a hard place, right? How do you kill the team if you can't kill Necro and Necro keeps the entire team alive?
I feel like the biggest noob. They just cleaned up the racks with still 6 seconds left to spare. They pushed way faster than I was anticipating.
Yeah, Heisenberg in the top lane will get picked off, however, his Pizza Dad was lying in the shadows. Does pop that BKB to guarantee the TP. Looks like he wants to attempt the TP, but looks like they're just going to call GG off the kill of that. And GG, well played. Congrats to Two Fish, Too Furious, as VODs on the tubes. As Niz, is there anything you want to say on the tubs, on the tubes, on the tubes? Is there anything you want to say, Niz, as this game does draw to a close with Two Fish advancing with $100 and the bragging rights?
Well, I'm glad that we saw the Necro pick pay off because that was fun. Seeing a hero like that that's pretty much never picked, getting picked and doing extremely well in a game. I'm a little disappointed to see that the Storm wasn't able to contribute more to this game. He was 4-11-4 at the end. Kind of wish that he was able to jump around and do his Storm shenanigans, but a lot of that was on the back of Heisenberg, who played incredibly well on the Faceless Void. He only finished 8-6-10, but that really doesn't show his contribution to this game. His Chronospheres were on point all game long, and it really helped keep the Snowball hero on Boreal, which was Monkeys Forever's Storm Spirit. Really kept it under wraps. So, well, you know, I think One Fish, Two Fish definitely deserved the win here. They definitely outplayed, and they came out. I think they came out of the draft a little bit ahead, but they didn't win strictly on the draft. They won on their play, and congrats to them. They won Sunday night SCS and walk away with $100 in bragging rights.
Well, very succinctly put, Niz, as we do draw to a close tonight, guys. As always, I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. It means a lot. All of you guys who stuck it out through the entire night. If you guys enjoyed this cast, please follow my Twitch channel down below, as it is just an easy click for you. If you're watching the VOD, you can go to Twitch TV/DotaRaptors or watching in Dota TV. All these VODs will be uploaded to YouTube in that format if you enjoy watching it rather than Dota TV at youtube.com/DotaRaptors. And I would highly encourage following Niz's Twitter as he keeps you guys up to date with what the side of the bracket that we're watching, what's going on, and all that can be seen at Nizcast on Twitter. And of course, if you want to follow me for some weird reason, you can check me out at DotaRaptors. But that sums it up for us. And it was an exciting night, guys. 5.5 hours, really rather quick tournament for the Sunday Evening Cup Series. But that will do it for us. And again, thank you so much to all of you guys who watched us all the way through the end, and those of you who tuned in at the end or at a point throughout the tournament. You guys make this happen, not us. So thank you, and we will see you guys next time on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Thursday Semi-Pro Cup Series.